Chat, you have asked for a Lucius the Eternal episode, and so I will deliver. Welcome back to Jerkhammer 40k, where in a universe of spectacular assholes, these ones are the worst. Today we will be talking about Lucius the Eternal, who is a member and ranking officer in the Emperor's Children Legion. Emperor's Children is one of the Chaos Legions and includes spectacular assholes such as Fabius Bile and its Primarch Fulgrim, and yes, Lucius is possibly more evil than both of these two. So like Erebus and some of the other more deranged Chaos Astartes we've covered, Lucius also has one of those true serial killer type of childhoods as well. If there is one thing that Lucius really likes, it is sword fighting, and on his planet growing up, he trained because he had a real talent and a real knack for sword fighting. But things kind of got out of hand. He would just sort of injure people or slowly just start to straight up unalive people and just call it an accident. Like, oh, they were in my way and that's why their ear is missing, to, oh, he was just standing there. I'm not really sure why he's dead now. It's fine, guys. It's cool. He trained like crazy with all of his mentors, and at one point he goes to this big contest of blades on his home planet, and the tourney list got a little mixed up, and he ended up fighting against this opponent who was twice as old, twice as tall, and this was finally almost a match for Lucius. This guy gets his knee into Lucius's chest, knocks him backwards, knocks all the wind out of him, and we think it's over for Lucius, but oh no. Lucius gets up, takes his sword, cuts all of his limbs off, and just kind of leaves him there. In 5th grade, we had a class pet. He was a barracuda named Saddam. Look, the early aughts was a different time, and Saddam used to do this with all the pet goldfish we'd stick in the tank. And this part of the story, just shout out to Saddam. I hope you're enjoying your fishy afterlife eating all those goldfish. Anyways, a cloaked figure sees this out of the shadows and says, hey, Lucius, you want to be a space marine? That's right. They put this fucking psychopath in power armor. So Lucius joins the Emperor's Children Legion and goes out and conquests across the galaxy. He's by far the best sword fighter in the whole Legion. He gets officer ranks very quickly, but he's also real weird because he meets this remembrancer, Serena something. I'll put it in the captions, as they're going across the galaxy, and she's like, yeah, I'm an artist of pain, and she's got all these scars, and she's like, yep, this is for every single person I've taken out in my conquest. And he's like, ooh, promise you'll stop for me? And then he's like, no, wait, this is a good idea. Success equals pain. I too watch a bunch of Linkin Park AMVs, and I'm just gonna start disfiguring myself every time I unalive someone. This is really cool. Thanks, Serena. So being the absolute psychopath that he is, Fulgrim thinks that things just aren't interesting enough at times during the heresy and during the crusade. And, it's kind of like Big Brother. You gotta give them little challenges to do while they're bored in the house. So Fulgrim is like, why don't we have gladiatorial pit fights? Wouldn't that be fun? And Fulgrim, of course, is an absolute expert at this and is really, really good at taking out and defeating his fellow Astartes. And he comes up against this guy, Sirius. And Sirius actually does defeat and unalive Lucius in battle. And things are fine for a couple of days, but then we see Sirius having this crazy transformation. I imagine it's something like how they turn into werewolves in the Twilight series, but more painful. So Sirius undergoes this horrible, painful physical transformation, and his armor, his power armor, his very cool artificer armor, just starts to disfigure and change. His whole face changed. All of a sudden, there's Lucius. That's right. Slaanesh personally loves Lucius so much that anyone that defeats Lucius just turns back into Lucius. It's kind of like a Trill from Star Trek meets the Avatar state meets the Dalai Lama. Like, it's the same person, multiple titles, everybody's got all the same memories and consciousness, but now you too are part of Lucius the Eternal. A lot of his legion was actually quite jealous of him. He was a very attractive guy, actually, before the pain equals success, cutting up his face thing. It's now quite ironic. Of course, Lucius was a big and huge instrumental part in both the Istvan III and especially the Istvan V drop site massacre. He was really quite happy, actually, to go ahead and just mercilessly slaughter a lot of his former battle brothers from the Salamanders, Iron Hands, and Raven Guard legions. And after all of this Horus heresy nonsense, he goes, spends some quality time in the Eye of Terror. There he picks up this fun sentient whip made out of demon tentacles and just gets more cool powers and becomes more terrifying to look at. He gets some Chaos Cultist supporters who are like really excited. They help him find more worthy opponents. He goes across the galaxy and dismembers them like Saddam the Barracuda, my 5th grade class pet. And basically the rest is history. Anyways, that's the Lucius episode. Hope you love it. Let me know which jerk of Warhammer 40k you would like me to cover next. And yeah, I'm back after the con. Got a little con crud, but we are back, baby.